Hola Comadres, welcome to another episode of Comadreando podcast. I'm your host Marcy, and today I'm joined by a very special guest,
Aiden.
I decided to bring him on the show so that we can talk about everything that's been going on this year. Aiden, so tell me, how's school going?
It was good.
It was good. What about your birthday? What did we do for your birthday?
We sing medieval times.
You went to medieval times? What did we do over there?
We watch the night.
What were they doing?
They were doing as we fight each other.
They were jousting?
Yes.
Okay. What were the knights riding?
A horse.
Okay, cool. And did you have a really, really good time?
Yes.
Who went to your birthday? Do you remember?
Grandma, Uncle Lenny,
Who else? Uncle Al.
Uncle Albert, and Titi Fadi.
What about Kiki Nana?
Even Kiki Nana.
And
Marcy.
who's Marcy?
Marcy Campos.
She's your
Friend.
friend and your
Mother.
oh, thank you. So how's school going this year?
It was good.
It's going good. What's your favorite part of school this year so far?
My favorite part of school is as we get to write my name on the paper. And then we write math numbers on the paper.
So you like math? Is that your favorite subject?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. How old did you turn this year?
15.
15 years old. Oh my goodness, so big. Do you like being 15?
Yes.
So fun. Anything else? What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue?
Like the sky.
Like the sky. Okay. All the comadres were asking for me to interview you. Can you say hi to the comadres?
Hi, comadres.
Say, how are you doing today?
How are you doing today?
What else? What's your favorite food?
My favorite food is white rice and chicken.
Why do you like it so much?
It's because it is tasty.
Okay. What else? I don't know what else to ask him. What? Oh, okay. Do you have any pets?
Yes.
What's your pet's name?
Drogon.
What kind of pet is he? He's a
Dog.
And what color is he?
Black.
And what do you like to do with Drogon?
I love to pet him.
And do what else?
And do some tricks.
And play.
Fetch.
Nice. Okay. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Can you say bye to everybody?
Bye, everybody.
Say take care.
Take care.
So yeah, comadres, I decided to bring Aiden on the show. A lot of you have asked me to interview him and see how he does. So yeah, that's his capability of conversation. He can answer questions. Sometimes he'll initiate conversations and such. But he had a really, really good time for his birthday. So much so that we got a couple of souvenir pictures, and when we got home, we got a few souvenir pictures, and when we got home, we put them immediately on his mantle, which was pretty cool. Yeah, he had a really good time. Once we were done with medieval times, we went to my mom's house and we sang him happy birthday. We couldn't sing him happy birthday at the place because it was so loud, but he really enjoyed himself. I didn't think it was going to be such a successful birthday, but it was. And it was kind of last minute because I really didn't know what to do with him. I know he was turning 15 and it's a big birthday, so I decided to take him to do that. Anyway, other life updates. Yeah, everything else is going as good as it can. I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving break. At this new school, I get a full week off, which is nice because your sister is tired. Yeah, so I have a new location for recording. This is my new little makeshift studio space. So I'm in a different corner of the room, and this is my background now. I'm gonna try and see if I can improve it somehow. Maybe, I don't know, make it look different. But this is it for now. I actually need lights for the space because the lights I had, I bought them off Amazon, and has it been a year? been a little bit less, a little bit over a year, but they're already not working. So I'm going to see if I can write to the company that makes the lights and see if there's some kind of warranty for the lights so that I can get a replacement. But yeah, I kind of enjoyed this setup because, first of all, I'm not in front of the window facing out. Facing the front of the building. So that is already an improvement in sound. And also, in the summer, you guys don't hear everybody going crazy and playing like all kinds of music, hopefully. Anywho, so continuing the episode, I have a very special guest coming on besides Aiden. And it will be a surprise, and we will check it out tomorrow. Not tomorrow. We'll check it out in a few. And here's a special guest. Hola Comadres, welcome to another episode of Comadreando podcast. I'm your host Marcy, and today we have an amazing guest. It's my compadre Ismael, so I'm going to let him introduce himself. Who are you?
Hi, my name is Ismael. I've known Marcy for a very long time. Lucky enough to be her compadre and Aiden's godfather. I'm here to participate and be part of, finally, of Comadreando.
Yay! Also, Comadres, he's like one of the biggest fans. He's been on with the show since I think the first month that we released episodes, you were already listening, which is great. So today's topic is growing pains and the thought of outgrowing people. And the reason why the topic came up is because I recently dealt with this. And as I've been going through different iterations of myself through life, I feel like I've outgrown certain people. And, it's good to talk about it because I feel like it's a mental health thing as well. Making sure that you're choosing people that support you, that help you grow, and that are like positive influences in your life, and that you're not just keeping around the same people because you feel like you quote unquote owe them. So so before we get into the topic though, compadre, what is your career?
Well, I'm actually in the stone industry. I work for a stone company, or a company that deals with natural stone. I've been working there for 24 years now. This summer was 24 years.
And,
And
24, I feel like you've been there longer.
Well, I feel it too. No, it's funny. I went there my freshman year of college. It was a summer job. I was supposed to only be there for the summer and help. And I ended up falling in love with the industry and everything that I get to do there and see things build. They pretty much paid for my schooling because I ended up working there all through college, and I used the money I made there to pay for whatever bills I had. And then when I graduated from college, they decided to hire me. So I've been there ever since. So I work with architects on a daily basis. I work with builders. We help select natural stone products for their buildings, for their kitchen counters, for the facade of the buildings. I get to do a lot. And that's what makes me fall in love with the job, is because I do something different every day. Either I'm working with a supplier or a vendor or an architect or a business building owner, or I'm working directly with the quarry in overseas. I just came back from Italy, things like that, and it's invigorating and it's challenging. It's fun. It's also a lot of hard work.
Love that. And you're like the only person that I know in that field, so it's pretty cool. I also like the fact that you have there's a creative aspect to it as well. It's not just like supplying and all this stuff, but you also have
Right.
a hand in the creative aspect too, which is cool. And I know you enjoy that as well.
Right. And I get to, my thing was, I walked around the High Line recently, and I got to see. Oh, I worked on that building. I helped choose the material for that building. Oh, look at this. Oh, yeah, I remember working on this, and it's something that's going to be there for longer than I'm around. So it's pretty
Yeah,
exciting. I mean, I work for the company that supplied the stone for the Empire State Building. So
that's dope.
there, hopefully, my work will be around as long as that building.
That's awesome. So, compadre, so we already talked about what your career is and what made you get into that field. So let's kind of like, I guess, segue into another line. What has it been like being the godfather to a person with autism?
Well, being Aiden's godfather is to me a blessing. I love Aiden as one of my own children, and Aiden and my oldest share an age. They're both the same age. Ian's a little bit older. I remember when we went to see Aiden at the hospital when he was born. It's a blessing. It's a blessing to know him. It's a blessing to see him grow. You know, seeing him as a baby and seeing him as a young adult. Oh my God, I consider him a young adult.
Yeah.
Him and my son, they're these boys, the conversations, what they come up with, they're not babies anymore. I consider it a blessing. I love him like he was one of mine. My boys care about him. My boys ask about him. You know, not only has Aiden helped me learn about autism and be sensitive about it, but also my kids. So to me, that's a blessing to
Yeah.
have him be part of our lives. So that's what I take away from it. I wish we spent more time together, but things are how they are. But I know that every time we talk, he knows who I am, and my boys know who he is. And whenever we get to spend time together, it's always a good time. It's never a nuisance. It's never like, oh, I gotta spend time with my Nino. It's not like that. It's
Yeah.
oh, I'm seeing Nino. So it like again, it's a blessing.
Yeah. The last time we spent time together, this is messed up. Like the last time we spent time together, like in person, because we talk on the phone all the time. But the last time we spent time together in person was
Last summer.
not this summer, last summer.
Last summer, yeah.
Yeah, we spent July 4th together, and Aiden was able to go visit. But we gotta plan something coming up.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
is it this weekend or next weekend we're getting together?
Think maybe this weekend or next weekend. We haven't found out, but that's how it is.
We're gonna finalize
We yeah, we
it.
finalize things how it goes.
So yeah, no, I felt like, honestly, compadre, besides the fact that the other options, like we're not even gonna talk about the other options that I had for godparents, but I feel like out of all the men that I know, you're like one of the best role models that I can have around my child because of the type of person that you are. Like, not only, yes, you're Dominican, obviously, we share that in common. You're from La Capital, I'm from El Cibao, but we have all these other things in common. And not only that, but then the way you admire women and you respect women and you teach that to your boys, and the way you respect your wife is like something that I want my son to mirror. So I really felt like choosing you as his godfather, there was no other option. Like people can you know what I'm saying, like his dad was like suggesting all these other people, but I felt like there was no other choice. Like there was, like it wasn't up for the debate at all. So yeah, it was like one of the best decisions that I made, and I feel like Aiden feels very strongly about you. And even though, like, yeah, we don't spend as much time together as we used to, but I still feel like Aiden feels like he has a way better relationship than he has with his father, for
Well,
sure.
thank you for those kind words, Comadre. It comes with heavy weight hearing you say what you said. But I just also want to add, when we see Aiden when I see Aiden, it's like, how you have those relationships where you see a friend and you haven't seen him for a long time and you pick up right where you left off.
Yeah.
That's how I feel when I see Aiden, and it's like we have that bond of we have a bond, and you can't get that with everybody. You can't get that with
Hmm.
anybody. So I like that too. He's such an amazing kid. Oh my God, he's gonna be such an amazing young man. I don't know. I see him, and I can't believe he was the baby that we carried those years
I
ago.
know. I also want to shout out that the compadre, even though like he tries his best to be there for as many events as possible, and he actually participated in Aiden's middle school graduation virtually because he couldn't get the day off from work,
Virtually, right?
but he was still there and he was like cheering for him. So that's the type of relationship that we have. But I feel like this is a great segue to the topic that we're talking about. Is that even though we have so many years and like yes, sometimes we don't see each other as often as we want to, our relationship still makes sense in our lives, and I feel like we still have that connection and we still align in so many ways. And I feel like as people, as we've been maturing and growing up, because we've known each other. So, comadres, I met my compadre when we were in high school. We weren't friends in high school. We saw each other. It was like una cosa de vista, and then we became closer as like while we were in college. So it has been a relationship that has matured with time, but it still makes sense. So what the topic today is talking about relationships that don't mature with time and how we can, as like mature adults, like make decisions about whether these relationships are like they make sense in our lives and whether we should keep these people around. So there was a bunch. I was looking for articles, and there's so many about like tips, not tips, but like signs that you're outgrowing a friendship. So one of the signs is that you share few interests and values. You avoid their calls or invites. You feel stuck in a role. You stop telling them things, and then you complain about them to other people. But I feel like there's more to that though, because like
There's more. There's more. Actually, I want to hear about your what happened to you recently. What made
okay,
you come up with the topic? What happened?
so we and it's like I would say like friendship slash working relationship. It's somebody that was taking care of Aiden, and
Mm,
that's this person has been taking care of Aiden since Aiden was an infant, not an
wow.
infant, like a toddler. And I
Mhm.
think you know who I'm talking about.
Mhm.
So this person, at first it worked, right? But then I started noticing things about this person's character that I didn't feel comfortable, and I don't know. It was like, you know, when you have family members that you kind of avoid, and when you finally meet them, they're like, "Hey, por fin que me llama, está vivo," whatever, and they make you feel guilty about not spending time with them or not calling them, or como que no le sale a uno eso por dentro, and they want to force it. That was like the point of contention. Like I feel like this person felt like entitled, number one, to my time, to my money, to like having Aiden around all the time. And then I felt like they didn't have their best interest at heart. And it was more money based than like actual caring for my kid, if that makes any sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Um, thinking about it, I think there's a few different ways or reasons why we outgrow other people. I think most of it is emotional. I think we
Mm-hmm.
outgrow people emotionally. Either the person is draining you emotionally, either the person isn't giving you that emotion back or that energy back that you give them. And sometimes there are people that are like dead weight, that you're carrying them around just for the sake of saying, oh, I have this friend, or oh, I'm close with this person or this family member. But they're
Mm-hmm.
emotionally draining. And you get out of a conversation with them and you're drained. You're completely like, oh my God, I had to sit through that. And that's when you start noticing that, you know what, I've outgrown that person. If that
Mm-hmm.
person isn't filling my cup and all I'm doing is filling their cup, I've outgrown them. You know what I mean? You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like you and I, we get on the phone, and even if we didn't talk all week, we'll get on and we'll say, hey, how you doing? We'll have a conversation, but it's never always, ay, comadre, usted no sabe lo que me pasó con esto, con la otra. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It's not always that. Sometimes it is, but it's not always the same repertoire. And that's what a person, when you outgrow them, if they're always talking about the same thing,
La
they're
misma
not
cantaleta.
maturing, they're not growing, and you're like on a different level, you start noticing that, that's when you know you're outgrowing that person. The part of them being draining to you or almost like leeching off of your energy, that's something
Mm-hmm.
else. Cuando son interesados, when somebody is just with with you or around you because of your financial being or because you're giving them financial support, that's a whole different story, comadre. That I don't think that is outgrowing them. I just think you realize that person is a leech. You know what I mean?
Y a mí lo que me da, compadre, is that like they would always like, because you know we love Aiden, like he's our family, but like you're not treating me like that. Like one of the biggest points of contention I want to say was that, okay, you know when you have an agreement, like a work agreement with somebody, and you have a set price, like slowly the price started getting higher without like previous conversations. Because I don't mind
Inflation.
adjusting for inflation. I don't mind that. I don't mind adjusting for inflation. But a mí lo que me gusta, hábleme la cosa clara y háblame antes de tiempo, because you don't know my pocket. You know what I'm saying? So
Right,
that was
right.
like super. I felt disrespected and I felt like taken advantage of, even though it was like, it was kind of like I was bullied into doing, like, accepting a certain price when we initially agreed to a different price. And then other things started getting tacked on, and it was just a lot. And I don't wish them ill or anything like that. Like, I wish them well, but I feel like this is a common pattern in their relationships with other people, and it's like a couple. So this is a common pattern in relationships with other people. So it's like, when are you gonna, like, they always make themselves a victim, right? So when are you gonna take accountability for who, like, what are you doing to cause these relationships to, like, go away or to fray, right? And then they post like they se ponen como, ay, la víctima fui yo, me están haciendo
They
todo
they
a
they
mí.
they, they post on social media.
Oh no, I don't know if they post
Little.
it on social media, because like I
Oh,
was I wasn't checking for that. But when you have conversations about previous relationships, or other things that didn't go how they thought were gonna go, they make themselves out to be the victims.
right. I understand.
So it's like, I don't know,
Yeah.
like what, where do we start as adults taking accountability for, like, our choices and things that we do?
I don't. I listen. I think you're asking a lot from people who didn't have that or don't have that growing up. If as a child you don't give your child accountability, you don't teach your child accountability, you can't expect as a grown person that they're going to take accountability unless they go to therapy, they grow emotionally. If they don't, they don't. And those are people that they say, oh, tú me tienes que querer como yo soy, y ya. And then it's on you to make that decision. Am I really going to go through this just to have this person in my life, or am I going
Hmm.
to move on? I always say, friends are like bridges. You find them and you cross their paths, and they may be the one leading you to a better relationship or to somewhere better. But that doesn't mean you have to carry this bridge with you. Some friends you carry through your whole life, but some are just friends that you need to get to another point where you're going to. I can't remember every single friend I've ever had. I'm
Hmm.
sure other people have outgrown me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It can't always be me outgrowing. I can probably be in a situation where I have friends who see me not as to their level. And I'm
Hmm.
okay with that. I don't need to carry on all the relationships I've had in my life.
Yeah.
There's people that I have to leave behind. And when you start noticing that that person is taking too much of your energy, you have to reevaluate the value of their relationship.
Yeah, and then it got to a point that it was like constantly having these conversations, like, oh, if you don't want us to work with him, I'm like, yeah, I really actually don't want you to
Yeah,
work with them.
that's a great thing. I think that's a great point because we're too appeasing. We're too appeasing. We like to, I know, yo entiendo, oh, I understand. Oh, let's find a way. But you know what? There comes to a point that you can say, yeah, you're right. I don't want to work with you anymore. I don't think it's a good a match because
Hmm.
I know that the word narcissistic is thrown a lot around a lot, but there's
Yeah,
real
people use it all
narcissists
the
out
time
there.
now. Yeah.
But there's real people like that, and the best way to get rid of narcissists in a conversation because they like to pull you into a conversation. They like to have
Hmm.
this volleyball conversation with you. Tú no me llamas. Y tú dices, ay, no, yo te llamé. Tú no me llamas. And back and forth, back and forth. No, you say, oh, you know what? You're right. I didn't call you. Wow. You're right. And then you end that volley because it's true. If you tell me, ay, compadre, tú no me llamas, y me ya, what am I going to say? Ay, comadre, you're right. I don't have the time. I came home from work late. I have to deal with the things with the kids. I don't have the time. What am I? I'm disarming you. I'm telling you the truth, and I'm disarming you. And what can you say? Ah, comadre, compadre, pero deje ese muchacho, llámame a mí, because then you're gonna look. You're gonna show your whole ass. So no, you to people like that, you tell them the truth, and you end it where it is.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not with that. Okay. I have people in, I know this is the conversation, but there's people in my family that I've had to um, cut relationships with in my
100%.
own family because
Yes.
they have the entitlement that I need to be there forever and ever and for every will and for every call, and I can't. I have a career and I have a family that are very important to me. If I need to be there for any one of my boys, I need to be there for my boys, and I can't stop being there for them because I need to go take so and so to the doctor because there's an appointment that he never scheduled with me. You know what I mean? And I can't do that. And that person needs to know I can count on him for XYZ, but not for everything. And if they don't see that, that's on them.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, talking about like I feel like after the pandemic, we all as a collective we reevaluated all relationships on our life, right? And we like I don't feel like it was like purposeful. We sat down, we had a list, but I feel like there's certain relationships that we hold on, compadre. I'll be right back.
Take your
I'm gonna see
time.
what
Don't
you
worry. Don't worry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
How about a blow dryer?
Usted yo lo que pasó.
Oh no! You're gonna do.
Hey, compadrino,
Hey,
what do you say?
bud.
Hola, padrino.
Hola, bud. How
How
are
are
you?
you doing?
What were
Good.
you
How are
doing?
you
Tell padrino
doing?
what were you doing?
What were you doing?
No, you tell him what you
No.
were doing.
I was giving Drogon his bath.
Yeah. You have dry shampoo. You should do it with dry shampoo, Drogon. Aiden.
Padrino said you should use dry shampoo on the puppy. Don't take
Yeah.
my towel. Oh my. Aiden, cierra la
Comadre.
puerta. So he decided to take comadres. He decided to give Drogon a bath without me. Eso es historia de agua en la sala.
No, I
Porque
think you should get him some dry shampoo so whenever he wants to do that, he can use a dry shampoo.
I didn't even know dogs have dry shampoo.
Yeah. I use it in my mind all the time.
Is it like a spray?
They're amazing. Yeah, it's like a foam. You put the foam and it's dry and you pass it through their bodies and it's great. And it helps against, the smells and all that good stuff.
Hay un tollo de agua en la sala ahora mismo. When we finish recording, I'm gonna have to go dry that. Pero no, entonces I love him because he like really tries to help and do things for me. Pero it's the timing. I'm like, amigo, te podía esperar que yo terminara. No, es cuando se le ocurre la cosa.
Yeah, 100%. God bless you, compadre. I told you. I don't know how you handle Drogon and Aiden.
No, it's a lot. And the dog is finally better. Like I got him.
He's eating better.
He's eating better. I got him this thing para engordarlo. It's like for bulldogs. You know how they make the bulldogs like being I didn't even know bulldogs are like in weightlifting competitions.
Yes.
I don't know if they lift weights, but like I know that they do competitions kind of like bodybuilding.
Right. No, it's like I think it's pull strength or something like that. They have pull things. I've seen it with pit bulls too. Like they'll make him bite something and pull it, and they measure the weight or something like that.
That's crazy. But I got him the supplements that they use to have those dogs gain weight. So I've been giving it to him, and he loves it because it smells like peanut butter and bacon. So él se lo está comiendo. So ahora él está cogiendo un poquito más de peso. Pero, it's going to be slow because it took him a while to gain the weight in the first place. To lose the weight in the first place. So yeah, but no, going back to the topic. Yeah, no, family members, 100%. You already know. There's been a couple of people. I feel like during the pandemic, like I was saying before, is that we kind of inadvertently did a system of checks and balances to figure, not to figure out on purpose, but it was kind of like we reevaluated all relationships in our lives, and some family members are part of that reevaluation. And if something doesn't align, I feel like there's no, even if they're family members, there's no reason why we should subject ourselves to something that is desagradable or that we don't want to participate in. I
I
mean,
agree
yeah,
with you.
we are family, somos sangre, pero that doesn't, to me, that doesn't constitute enough of a thing that I'm going to make myself do something that I don't want to do.
Listen, I'm the type of person that if you need me, I'm there. If you need me for almost anything, I'm there, especially in an emergency. But don't take advantage of me because I'm very good at telling when somebody's taking advantage of me. And that's my biggest turnoff. If you think that I'm going to let you take advantage of me and you're going to do it over and over again, that's when I put the stop on it. And that's when you hear the, oh, you don't call me anymore, or you don't even pick up my phone calls anymore. Why am I going to if I know exactly what the conversation is going to be like? Or if you're going to be abusive on the other line, why am I going to pick up the phone call? Leave me a message. I'd rather just hear a message when I'm ready to be abused. Because people think that, ah, yo le voy a dar un boche a ese muchacho, porque what is, I'm a grown man. I don't need boches. I'm not going to change because you decided that you're going to give me a piece of your mind. So why would I pick up the phone call to be abused? You know what I mean?
It's true. No, and then people, like, it's the audacity for me. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least there's a certain part of the family, and we've talked about this before, is that like every time you talk to them, it's a thing like, ay, tú no me llamas, tú no nos buscas, que si yo qué, pero que cada vez que yo te busco, every time I look for you is because, or you look for me rather, it's for a reason.
You
There's
need
no,
me.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not altruistic. It's not like to genuinely find out how Aiden's doing or how I'm doing or whatever the case may be. It's literally because you need something. And like people like that, ¿pa' qué? I don't
Family is
know.
very, very difficult commodity. Um, I have a very difficult relationship with a couple people in my family, and I've come to realize that I need space from those people because I need that healthy environment for me. I noticed and I can see that they're not being a healthy addition to my mental health. If I'm stressed out every time I speak to that person or gather with that person, then why am I doing it? Just because your family is supposed to be there? No, and friends the same way. If every time you're seeking out for me as a friend is for your own benefit, why? Why am I going to spend my time, my money, my energy to go see you or hang out with you if it's just the same, oh, I need you to hook me up with this or with that? Then we're not friends, and I'm just a business transaction to you. So we'll do business. We'll divide the relationship into business and friendship, and we're not friends, we're business people.
So, compadre, when you establish those boundaries that you feel like, though, like when how do you know when it's time to call it quits or like to kind of like put distance between you and that person?
Um, I need to identify how I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if again, it comes to knowing how you are, knowing yourself. If you are having a conversation or an interaction with someone and you feel drained or sad or upset every single time you have an interaction with that person, that's a sign telling you this isn't it. You can't
Mm-hmm.
have a real healthy relationship with somebody who's always draining of your positive energy. You can't. That's why therapists have therapists because if they have a client that drains their energy, they need to let that out too. You
Yeah.
can't have a relationship with a friend or a family member who's always just draining you or giving you their issues and their problems. Have you ever had a relationship that this person is telling you, ay, mira lo que me pasa, or look what happened to me, oh, this is the, and then you feel heavy because they've
Yeah.
given you this weight of grief or this weight of something that's pulling you down, and then you can't be productive, and then you
Mm-hmm.
can't have the energy to deal with Aiden and Droga. So those are the people that you need to identify. I'm not saying ghost them. I'm not saying get
Mm-hmm.
rid of them. I'm saying identify that these people are not helping you or not giving you positive enforcement. So then you have to deal with that because, or we already, I think, you already identified them as somebody who's giving you that emotion. Now, how do we
Mm-hmm.
deal with them? You know, I feel the best way to deal with it is talking.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a talk. You say, hey, I feel this or that. And if that person isn't receptive to the conversation, then that's when you ghost them. And at least they know that why you ghosted them. Because you tried
Mm-hmm.
talking to them, they weren't perceptive to how you were feeling, then I understand how I lost that friendship. It
Yeah.
may not, it may take more than one time to do it, but at least they know. There's
Yeah.
this saying, que hablando se entiende la gente. I've always heard that saying, and it's true. But if you're trying to get across a point and somebody's not understanding how your feelings are, how your emotions are, I don't know how else to express it.
Yeah. Or if that person is like passive aggressive, right? But then when you confront them, because like I am very like como le digo, I'm very aware of people and like how they treat me, right? So if I notice like passive aggressiveness, I'm gonna confront you, but not like on an aggressive like in an aggressive way. I'm just gonna like point out what I notice and like how can we fix this. But if you're when you're confronted with your behavior, if you're not owning up to it and you don't like quote unquote see what that person means or like you're gaslighting them, then that's like something that you have to make a decision like, hey, maybe they aren't going to be receptive to the idea of us having an actual conversation regarding like the behavior.
But you tried.
Yeah.
You tried. And at least you tried. My problem
Mm-hmm.
with people is if they don't give me the opportunity of, let's say, for example, if I'm the one that's having the issue, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one that you call me and I'm like, ay, comadre, every time you call me, I'm draining you and you come out of the conversation thinking, why did I call compadre? And then
Mm-hmm.
one day you tell me, listen, compadre, we haven't been getting along because of this and that. And every time I call you, you give me such negative vibes. It's on me to understand that and to say and to see how can I make this better because I really want to continue my relationship with my comadre.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? And
Yeah.
if I'm not mature enough to do that, if I'm not mature and I'm not responsible enough to do that, then you've outgrown me. What other sign do we need? If you tell me calmly and clearly, we're having an issue because of XYZ, and I go, so eres tú que tú eres una loca vieja, you've outgrown me. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, compadre. And
So
like,
what more do we need? If I'm telling you clearly, I'm having an issue because of this and how you make me feel when you're being passive aggressive or you're gaslighting me. Ah, no, tú
yeah.
eres que está mal. Tú eres que está. Then sorry,
Yo no
honestly,
estoy
that's
haciendo
it.
eso. Like, that's the
Ay,
eso,
pero,
eso eres
ah,
tú.
pero Marcy se ha cambiado. Oh, sí,
Mm-hmm.
no, maybe I have.
Yeah. I mean, we don't do all this work. We don't do all this shadow work. We don't go to therapy. We don't do all these things just to stay the same, right?
Right?
We do it
No,
to grow
we
as
get to
people.
grow.
So it's like, I feel like there's people that are gonna perpetually just like, I don't know, there's people that don't own like their hand in things. Like, the woe is me people. Like sometimes like they don't see how they're contributing to this like whole like what you said, like that energy around them or that vibe, right? They're not really
There's people that
noticing
are
or
stuck
they're
in
not
the past too,
conscious.
comadre. There's people that are stuck in the past. They're still in their high school days. Oh, and I was in high school, and what they're stuck there. So what kind of conversation or what kind of growing are we going to do as partners or friends or cousins or whatever if every time we have the conversation we're talking about the highlights of your high school days? Let's talk
True.
about something else. Let's experience other things. Oh
I know.
yeah, let's go away. Oh, where are we gonna go? Santo Domingo. Oh, let's pass another phase. Let's visit another
Otra
country.
vez. No, and then I don't know, like nothing against our country. I love visiting DR. We went to
I
DR
love DR.
multiple times. Like we've been there so many times. Pero hay que expandir la mente. There's like other places in the world that are different. Like it's good to open your eyes
Right.
and experience different things, right? Like I can't
Right.
tell you that the DR beaches are the best in the world because I haven't been to the rest of the world. How can I
Right.
like make a
Right.
proper assessment of that? So it's like there's
Right.
people that just want to stay the same all the time. And then another thing I want to say is that when people see you growing, if they're gaslighting you and saying like you're fake because you're growing up and you're maturing and you're changing, then that is not a friend for you.
I agree. I agree because if their first instinct is to tell you that you're in the wrong, or I mean, there's different ways of telling people they're in the wrong, but if their first instinct is to be like, "Oh, no, it's you. You're the one that's wrong," or "You don't see what I see," without them making an attempt to say, "I hear what you're saying. However, I feel da 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 da," because that's how a conversation is. But if I'm telling you something and your immediate reaction is to blame it all on me, then we're starting at the same point. We're not evolving and we're not moving forward.
Yeah, before I called it quits with that person that was taking care of Aiden, like I attempted to have a conversation, but it was like it just kept going back to the same point that they were trying to make, which
Exactly,
I
exactly.
understand what they were saying, but then like they didn't have anything else to add to the topic, and they also weren't taking ownership of things. I'm like, you instead of making my life easier, because like if a person's taking care of your life is supposed to be easier, not harder. I feel.
It's a tough situation you're on though because you are sorry, comadre. You are too nice. You want to be everybody's friend. And sometimes you need to make that division between friendship and business. You
Yeah.
can't be friends with everybody. You can't be friends with every parent that you meet. You can't be, and you see that as a teacher too. And then I know that person has been helping you with Aiden for a long, long time. But I'm sure you've been there for them, not only financially, but you've been there for them in other ways as well.
Yeah.
So
But then
you've crossed that
the
line of
way that
friendship.
I tried not to though. The thing is that they're like they want to make it seem that they wanted to. They wanted to make it seem like we were like quote unquote family. I'm like, I'm not your family. I'm
Right,
like your employer. So there's a
right,
difference,
right.
but like I don't know, like I feel like sometimes dealing with people that are not on the same level as you, like mentally, is like a little taxing because it's hard to establish like appropriate boundaries where they know they're your employee and that you're the employer and that there's certain things that like you just don't do. Like if this was a corporation or a company and you were getting paid via checks or whatever the case may be, there's certain things that you would prohibit, cohibirse. Hay alguna cosa que uno se cohibe de hacer. Like there's things that you would definitely not do if you were working for a stranger, in a company. So it's like
Listen,
there's like always like a
comadre,
weird middle line.
I've seen it happen in corporate environment as well. The problem is that you can make me think we're family. You can make me think we're best friends, but just don't let me catch you taking advantage of me. And that's what happened to you. You caught her taking advantage of you, either of your time and your money or both. So yes, we can be a family. Yes, we can be best friends. But once I catch you taking advantage of me, that we have to reevaluate that relationship. And when I bring it up and I tell you, Marcy, I noticed that you think I'm well off or something because you're charging me an extra X amount of money, and then you tell me, oh no, eso eres tú que tú estás loca. We're not going anywhere. If you catch me and you say, compadre, mira, tú me estás cobrando de más, I'm sorry, mira, no me di cuenta. I'm sorry, vamos a arreglar eso de una manera u otra. Let's
Yeah.
fix it somehow. Because I'll take responsibility for my mistake.
Yeah.
Because I tried to get over on you. But don't try to get over on me and then make me look dumb, make me look stupid, because that's where we're gonna fail.
Yeah.
You know, we're in the environment where I work, man, we have to deal with a lot of different people, and not every interaction is going to be a pleasant one. We have to, as project managers and as sales managers, we have to be very easygoing. We have to be flexible but firm. We have to I manage a team. There's going to be those days that people are going to try to pass you the BS and they're fake. Oh, I'm sick, or oh, I couldn't make it because of this, and we know it's not true, but I can't be passive aggressive. I have to take it as it is, and then when I catch you on your BS, I say, because for you to be a good liar, you have to have a good memory, right? If I catch you on your BS, if I catch you on your lie, own up to it. Because if you don't, I'm not going to respect you for it. And it's the same thing in
Yeah.
relationships. If I tell you, I don't like going uptown. Right, Comadre, that's a conversation you and I have had.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
call
like
it,
going
what is it?
uptown.
From Game of Thrones?
No, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna throw the heights against me. But you, I don't like it. But I'm not gonna tell you, Comadre, I can't go to this event because I am sick. But then you see on Instagram that I'm around the corner, and you catch me on the lie. What am I gonna say? Ay, comadre, I'm sorry. The only thing I'm gonna say is I'm sorry you caught me on my lie. I'm not gonna be like, oh no. I'm not gonna make it bigger than what it is. And
Yeah.
that's the thing with people. They want to take advantage of you, get over on you, and then when you catch them, they want to make you feel bad. And
Yeah.
that's not gonna go with me.
That's the biggest thing for me. And then like the fact that you feel like I'm indebted to you because of you've been working with my son for this amount of time, but then you feel like entitled to like my money
That's
and my
also
time and like me taking care of Aiden. Like no, like if you're not giving Aiden what he needs, then I'm gonna move on. And if you're not receptive to the conversation, then I'm just gonna go. Like I don't there. If you're not receptive to what I have to say, then there's nothing else that I need to say to this person.
yeah, you're in a tough situation there because I can see her way too.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it in a way that she's been there for you, and I'm sure there's
No,
been times that,
she's like no sea malagradecida. I'm like yo
yeah, yeah,
malagradecida.
it's not that. It's you're to a point that you can't take the BS anymore. You
No,
can't,
I can't. I really can't.
and that's
And
what it
it's
is.
like
And maybe you need a break. You know how good breaks are, that you take a break and then you may come back. You don't want to close doors, that whole thing.
yeah.
But yeah, you're over it, and that's a sign. You're not seeing it her way. That's another sign. When
No,
you're having a
I get
relationship with
what she's
somebody
saying.
else,
Mm-hmm. Go ahead,
yeah,
Comadre.
but that's a sign you're over it. You're not
I
putting
mean, I
yourself in her
tried
shoes and be like,
I've tried multiple times and like try to see it her way, but it's like, you know, I guess there hasn't been enough communication where we're both on the same page, or we think we're on the same page, but we're actually not. So it's like it's gotten messy and it's gotten difficult. So it's kind of like, thank God I have other people that are caring for Aiden now, but yeah, no, I don't think that relationship is gonna be able to be repaired. Maybe in the future, but as of right now, I don't think that's gonna be repaired.
how does Aiden feel about it?
He was at a point. I feel like he was feeling it too, because he was at a point that I'd be like, oh, it's a half day. You have to go to such and such's house, and he'd be like, but I don't want to go to this person's house, right? Mind you, I have a new family taking care of him, and it's like the whole family. It's like the dad is the respite worker, the son's also like a substitute respite worker, and then the wife is a home attendant. And like now on weekends, I'm like, hey, you have to go to. He calls the person grandpa and the lady tia. You got to go to grandpa and tia's house. He's like, yippee, and he starts getting ready on his own. But when I used to take him to the other place, he'd be like, I don't want to go over there. I want to stay here. I want to stay home. Or he'll be like, stay home. And I'm like, no, you can't. And he'd be like upset, like grumpy on the way over there. So that was another indication for me, because it's like, Aiden's a very good about, I guess, reading energy, or like
I've always
interpreting
told you that, comadre.
situations.
I've always told you that. Aiden is very good at reading other people's energy. We've had this conversation before with him, and he's a very good reader of people. He knows when someone is not into his vibe, and he knows when somebody's, and he's shown it with my compadre. He's shown it with
Mm-hmm.
my compadre's side of the family, right?
Yeah.
He has a very good read, so I would trust his gut almost above anything else. If
Yeah.
he's not comfortable anymore, I think you're making the right decision.
Yeah, and then he would, like, at one point, like towards the end, he would call me like on FaceTime, like, "Hey, mommy, where are you?" I'd be on a date,
like,
and I'd be like,
like, like he's going like this.
he's like, "Not on my watch. Get back here." No, but seriously, like it was to a point that it was just, I feel like just it was the best decision was like for each party to go their separate ways, and there wasn't any hard feelings. It just kind of happened that way, and I haven't really reached out, and they haven't reached back out. So I'm just like, I did try to like get them another person that they can take care of or whatever, and that didn't work out for them. So I mean, I did the best I could. That's
Right.
just like, I don't feel bad about it at all.
So don't. Then good. I think you're affirming your decision right now, right here.
Oh, yeah. But
With
yeah,
me, it's been harder, comadre. With me, it's been harder because the people that I've had to, walk away from have been family more than friends. Friends are, I don't know, I feel like it's more natural, or it's easier for me
mhm.
to part ways. It kind of goes away on its own, but family is so much harder. And I've had situations with a cousin. Oh my God, we were literally like brothers, and he, he did things that I couldn't ignore anymore, and it turned into something that it was a bother. Even speaking about that person, it was very painful. It hurt a lot. Um, then, however, as years passed, I felt bad, and I felt like I maybe I wasn't there for him in his worst times, and I tried connecting back again, but it wasn't the same. I was there for him. He needed financial help, and I was there and I helped him. But it was never the same again. And they can always say, "Oh, you've changed since you had your family, since you had your wife and your kids. Maybe you've changed." And I have. I'm a father. I'm not the cousin who's always hanging out. I'm not the person you can call at 3 o'clock in the morning and we can go hang out or pick you up in a bar if you're too drunk. I'm not. I'm that now for my kids. I tell my kids, listen, if you're ever in trouble and you're out there, call me whatever time. My nephews, if you're out there and you're in trouble, or you're so the person who's giving you a ride is drunk, call me. I don't care what time it is. But I'm not there for other people like that anymore. And I guess I have changed. But they need to accept that too, the same way I'm accepting it. I'm accepting it. I've changed. And then the other person is somebody I can't, I can't even say, because he is a textbook narcissist, and everything that involves him in his life has to be around him. And I don't have that capacity anymore. I can't. So I didn't. It wasn't the pandemic that changed me. What changed me was my mom's death. When mom passed away, I
That's true.
had to reevaluate all my relationships and say
Hmm.
who's here for me, who's not here for me. My mom died. I was 20. Was 20. I was okay. I was married and everything, but I was 26, 27, 26 years old,
Yeah, you
and
were young.
then I wasn't ready for that, and the people who were there for me, I'll cherish for the rest of my life. And the people who wanted me to put away my mom's or my feelings just so I can appease them, those people I can't ever,
Nah.
be around like that anymore. So that's when I changed, I guess, even
Hmm.
before I had kids.
I feel like grief really also puts into perspective the people that really are there for you and are not. I feel like because I lost my dad at such a young age, I feel like my lens for people has, I guess, become sharper sometimes. And not that I don't like it. I like, obviously I appreciate it because I don't waste my time with people that are not aligned with me. But I feel like maybe I'm a little harsh. But you say I'm nice, so I don't know.
No, you're way too nice. You're not harsh. You're way too nice. You're way too. I am Anita. I am. No, I disagree. However, for me, I'm more, and I think you too. I think you are as well. We're much more sensitive when it comes to the fact of a parent who's you lost a parent or what I'm very sensitive about is when you're disrespectful to your mother. Oh my God. I was like, I can't have that. And I'll tell somebody in their face, why do you talk to your mother like that?
Yeah. No,
That's
and
something
then
I'm sensitive about.
yeah, like I had a friend back in the day that used to like just like really get mad at her dad, and I was like, listen, I wish I had my dad to argue with him.
Right,
Like
right.
we have to love our parents. Now I know for a fact that our parents love us unconditionally, right? Like some parents need some work, yes, because they're human. But like if they knew better, they would do better. I'm a firm believer of that. If they knew better, they would do better. 100%.
I don't know. I don't agree 100%.
You don't think
I don't,
so?
I really, I don't know. People are selfish. It doesn't matter if you're a parent or not. If you're selfish and if you're egotistical and you're a narcissist, it doesn't matter if you're a father or mother or not. I'm
Mm.
not like that. I'm not. You're not. Your mom's not. But other people are. So
Yeah.
there was a line a couple weeks ago I heard somebody say, and it's to me, it's true. He was asked, "How does it feel? How did you feel when you became a father?" And I think it was Stephen Colbert was having a conversation with someone else, and he said, I realized how dumb I was." And the other guy goes, "What? How? What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, I thought I knew love until I held my son or my daughter in my arms, and I know that, and I really feel that. I can't speak for all fathers like that. Come on, Comadre, you and I know that. Not all people are built
No
the same.
shade, but no shade.
You know that I'm not saying anything that's wrong or that you don't
No, it's
understand.
not. It's true though. Like, okay, yeah. I get what you're saying. I definitely understand what you're saying. But yeah, no, I feel like it's just, at least for my mom. I know that if she knew better,
I
if she was raised
agree. I
differently,
agree.
she would have done better.
And
For my
our
mom,
kids are gonna
I don't know about
say
every parent out there.
this. Our kids are gonna say the same thing about us. Oh, if
True.
they knew better, they would have been better. I don't know if I could give these kids better than what I'm giving them now, but they're gonna
No.
say it. They're gonna say it. We just, we went to Virginia this weekend, and we stopped at a restaurant, and it was a restaurant that they like. I'm not gonna give a name, and I say to them, I imagine when you guys are older and with your own family, and you guys pass a place like this, and you're gonna say, I can't believe Dad brought us here. And Ian he goes, you think we're gonna be rich that we're not gonna want to eat in a place like this? I'm like, I think you guys are gonna be well off, and you're gonna look back at this and say, I can't believe we ate here before. Because when I was a kid and my parents took me to DR and they took us to wherever place they wanted to go,
Yeah.
we weren't impressed. And I'm sure that's the best they could do, right? And if I drive there now, you think I'm going to stop in the same parada cibaeña to feed my kids? I'm not.
Mm-mm. I mean, I
As
do it
much
for
as I like the
nostalgia
beer,
purposes.
and right,
I do
I
it for
like,
nostalgia purposes.
but
Pero
not the
di que
same.
like, no.
De
Not
que
like, oh, there's
llénate
nothing
probando,
better than
llénate
this.
probando.
Wait, compadre, finish.
You- No, I can't do that to my kids. But I'm sure when they're older, I'm sure they're gonna have good memories. But those are the things I think of. I was like, watch, they're gonna be like, I can't believe we used to stop you for lunch.
Oh my God. Ay, compadre. Ay, ay, ay. No, but yeah, I feel like this was a great conversation. It was productive. ¿Cómo le digo? Nada, comadres, if you have the same issues, I'm gonna link some episode. I'm gonna link some articles below so that you guys can research and see what you can do. Besides that, I feel, compadre, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. I've been bothering him to come on for a very long time, and I'm happy he finally agreed to come on.
Thank you. No,
And
I'm glad it worked in our schedules. I know we've
yes.
been missing each other, and it's getting busier. But I'm glad we were able to do it and set some time apart to do this. I thank you for the opportunity, and I thank you for taking the time to have me.
Thank you, compadre. So, comadres, I'm going to end the episode how I always end it, which is follow me at comadreandopod.com, or if you have any questions at all for me or Ismael, feel free to send me a Comadre-Gram via email at Marcy at comadreandopod.com. Visit our website to catch up on the latest blog posts, read happenings. We will be having our 100th episode celebration on February 24th, 2024. Please earmark your calendars. That is it for tonight. Thank you so much, and good night. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.